What's going on, you guys? Petplatypus here, and it's time to talk about episode 30 of Dragon Ball Super. Definitely an interesting episode from a structure standpoint. This was kind of weird. It's sort of a recap episode, but not really. And I don't know why they would do a recap episode at such a random point in time, but anyway, regardless, this episode, basically the plot progression with the current time stuff is they catch like Krillin, Gohan, and Piccolo up to speed on what's going on. Trunks and Goten as well. And yeah, that's pretty much, they catch them up to speed on what's going on with the flashbacks, and Piccolo agrees to be in the tournament. They go to Boo. They get Boo to be in the tournament. He says he's not going to use his wish for himself. He's going to let Hercule make the wish, which is, I kind of forget that they actually do have like a really good, genuine friendship between those two characters going on, so that was pretty awesome. And, you know, just like a nice little, like, fucking cute moment between the two, I guess. But, yeah, that aside, that's pretty much the progression, though. I mean, we get a little bit of Beerus and Whis kind of discussing how Beerus has changed personality-wise, and Beerus kind of confronts him on why he's training Goku and Vegeta, and it's interesting. You know, most people would see their conversation, they would see the flashbacks and just think, oh, it's just more bullshit recap. But no, there's actually some dialogue between the two that actually, like, shed some light on some characterization. Still pretty vague, still keeping it interesting, but it was kind of a neat touch. And yeah, but the flashbacks, though, really weird how many there were throughout the entire episode and what they were flashing back to. I mean, it had to do with what they were talking about. It was just, I hope that's not a thing that they're going to do frequently in the future. I hope that this was, like, a weird, like, maybe there was some deadline issues and they had to, like, throw in some animation they weren't planning to, so they just reused some stuff, or maybe it's for people who would have skipped Resurrection F and the Battle of Gods arcs. That kind of makes sense as well, but I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure, but yeah, it's hard to talk about this episode. I mean, there was plot progression. Like I said, they went into a little bit of the characterization. They briefly mentioned Oob, which was kind of cool. Gohan is back to training, and he can't go to the tournament. And I know people are going to bitch about Gohan, and he doesn't want to go because he has a conference. He has, like, his scholar shit to do. He wants to get strong and train to be able to protect his family. Nowhere in that does it say, I gotta go to this pointless tournament between these two gods that have beef over each other. About literal beef, food, and shit, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he said, yeah, it'd be a cool opportunity, but it doesn't have anything to do with protecting the world. I mean, it's Goku even said before, if their Earth goes to the 6th universe, it's not going to be that different. The Earth will still be fine. It's just in a different universe. It's a mirror universe anyway. It's like a twin. And, you know, and also, Champa could just make a wish for anything if he had all 7 balls. He doesn't even have to, like, do this competition with Beerus. It's just because they have beef with each other, so yeah, Gohan doesn't have to participate in that if he doesn't want to. This has no impact on, like, I mean, it does have the impact on the fate of the Earth, but like I said, it's not fucking, you know, it's not, like, the Earth will be destroyed. It's just going to be moved if they lose, and they're not going to fucking lose, so, I mean, not that the characters know that specifically, but you know what I mean. So yeah, but the training scene was really cool. I like the silhouette of them punching and kicking inside the rock shattering around them. We get to see Piccolo do his, stretching ability, which we haven't seen in a long time. So that was all really cool. And so again, I don't know why training sequences in Dragon Ball Super look better than the fight animation, at least for Goku versus Frieza. It's really weird that they prioritize their fucking animators like that. And based on the preview of the next episode, it looks like it's going to have some pretty damn good art and animation as well. And it's like, really, those guys couldn't work on that fight? Like, it's just really weird how they're prioritizing it, but hopefully that stops being an issue when we get into the tournament. But with all that being said, oh, speaking of animation, I suppose I should talk about, they had episode 5 flashbacks, but they actually, this was like in motion, the fixed up DVD version, DVD/Blu-ray, and it looked pretty good. I mean, it was the Super Saiyan 3 footage, and the Super Saiyan 3 footage in the original was already pretty well animated. It just had bad art. So it's hard to really say. The art was improved in a lot of spots there, but I'd have to see the Super Saiyan 1 and 2 segments of fucking Beerus just kind of going like this and Goku punching the dirt. It'll probably still look terrible from an animation standpoint, just slightly better artwork, but regardless, this was a pretty solid episode from like plot progression, and you know, like got their members. We got one member who can't go. We got some characterization. Caught a few characters up to speed. Next episode looks like it's going to have some of the stuff that was in the manga that kind of has to do with a little bit of universe building and stuff like that. So yeah, it was all in all actually a pretty good episode. I thought I was going to go pretty low on it because of the flashbacks, and I'm not going very high. I'm going like a 6.5 to a 7, maybe like a 6.8. It's a decent to good-ish episode of Dragon Ball Super. It had about the same plot progression we've seen in other episodes, despite all the flashbacks. But the flashbacks were kind of weird. I mean, I will say it's a better recap episode than like, oh, do I dare criticize the Holy Madhouse? Do I dare criticize when they did like 2 recap episodes for Hunter x Hunter, and they were both like just pure filler recap? I mean, series do that occasionally, but this was kind of a better way of doing it because you do get some plot. And if you did skip those arcs in the anime, you get a little taste of what you missed. And honestly, if you do skip those arcs, I mean, okay, the Champa flashbacks are useless, but because we just saw those 2 episodes ago. But if you did skip those arcs, these flashbacks actually serve really well as like kind of recapping the movies for you going into Dragon Ball Super. So yeah, I don't know what the intention was. I don't know if it was just lazy animation, but deadline problem. Wanted to just do a recap episode before the tournament. I have no idea, but interesting episode to say the least. Mixed bag. Definitely like I said, a 6.8 to a 7. It's still got the progression. It's still got some good humor. The animation was overall fine. You know, nothing needed to be too special. Like I said, the training sequence looked pretty nice. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this episode. Just trying to think of anything else. It was interesting seeing the episode 5 footage in there. So yeah, it was overall kind of an interesting episode. You know, hearing Oob's name get dropped, or not his name, but just the fact he was reborn. They mentioned that. So yeah, I overall was entertained, but I do, you know, see the animation issues with how many reused scenes there were flashback-wise, and also Goku interrupting, I guess it was supposed to be Vegeta, but it sounded like the narrator. That was very funny. So, well, not very, very funny, but it's just, it was funny hearing Goku interrupt the narrator, even though it's probably supposed to be Vegeta. If it was interrupting Vegeta, it'd still be funny, but the fact that it's like the narrator's voice, it kind of feels fourth wall joke-ish. I liked that, but I've rambled about this episode long enough. Like I said, give it a solid 6.8 out of 10. So, thanks for watching this video. Tell me what you guys thought of this episode of Dragon Ball Super in the comment section below. You can follow me on Instagram or add me on PSN. I'm petplatypus on both. Give this video a thumbs up. That would help me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already, or if you like what you've seen here. And after how many times I've done this, you'd think I wouldn't fuck it up. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.